Shalom, Yashala. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akyam, or just pushing the truth in love and sincerity and in charity with all humility. Okay, this is the brother YASHAWAN from the GMS Bombers Camp. Back at you with another brief lesson. Alright, this is going to be a drive and talk. Okay, this thing will only escalate. Okay, this thing will only escalate. Okay, as you're seeing here, I have a few things jotted down. Alright, Iran and US. Okay, alright, now they calling it the Iranian war. Alright, but it's actually the Israel-US war with Iran. Okay, we all know how it started off by the US, okay, bombing Iran and killing the Ayatollah, okay, the supreme leader. All right, now we ain't taking out from none of them. Okay, as far as we concerned, us Israelites, all of them are our enemies. Okay, according to Psalms 83. Okay, all of them are our enemies, and you notice when anytime just one having war, that one having war, it will never be the so-called Native American, Indians, Latinos, and Negroes. It will never be us Israelites. It will always be Esau, Edom, okay, Moab, okay, and Ammon. All right, it always be them or the Arabian, okay, Iran or Iraq. Okay, it'll always be them. All right. So let's get Matthew 24:6-7. Okay. So lock ya. What I doing? Must have get an order something. All right. Let's go to Matthew 24:6. All right. And ye should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay? And we hearing about wars and rumors of wars right now. We seeing them via television. Okay? And we hearing about them with our own two ears. Okay? Iran, Israel, US, all right, Russia, Ukraine, Hezbollah, okay, Palestine, all right, Gaza, all these other different places. Okay, Yahweh Shai say, but the end is not yet. But we living in the end times. For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, famines, all right, pestilence. We just went out of big pestilence the other day, Crown Royal. Okay, C-19. Okay, earthquakes stay happening. Okay, all over the earth. It just ain't happening on a large scale as you would think. Okay, but it's happening. All right. So think about all these different happening in the earth, and things only gonna escalate from there. All right, from this war. All right, this will eventually be an all-out war. Okay, let's think about it. Iran ain't backing down. Okay, and US thought that they was gonna have an easy time with Iran. Okay, and Iran and the US, Babylon, they had history going back since 1950. Okay, they had history, and it always dealing with war. Not with war, it always dealing with the oil and economic, energy. Okay, and since then, Iran hated Babylon. Okay, for oppressing them around that time. Okay, and Iran, really and truly, Iran even though they are our enemies, okay, they feel some type of way like how we felt as Israelites. Okay, because they look at, we are the Israelites in Babylon, we are oppressed, and they know what Babylon have done to them. Okay, so let's get Revelation 11 and 14. Now I'm gonna show you one or two things from AI. Okay, history dealing with Iran and the US. This is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So World War III is right around the corner. It's right around the corner. Okay, you could drive right around the corner and you'll see it happening or coming. All right. So with these two nations, the Lord, all right, will lead nations into the valley, okay, where He would judge them, where He would plead with them. Okay. So all this same war with Iran is going to ultimately lead other nations, okay, tying them into this war. All right. Reports now coming out saying that Iraq is now joining Iran. Okay, so you're gonna see. All right. Well, we know Russia and China, they back Iran, so more of their allies is gonna come together and back Iran as well. And then you can see Babylon, okay, and her allies, okay. Even though right now you see in Babylon is back in Israel, okay. But hey, this is what the Lord wants. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations. You see that? I will bring them down into the valley of YASHAWAN-BAN, the Lord's judgment, right? And will plead with them, meaning He will judge them. There for my people and for mine heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So all of these nations, okay, had their hand in spoiling us as Israelites. All these nations. So do you see the Lord ain't left out none? The Lord ain't left out none, boy. Okay. The Lord didn't left out none. All right. Let's say, let me see some. What nation of gotten off a spoil. Okay. Let me just pull that up, see if I can find that right in Voice Maccabees. Okay. All right, Salakia. Okay. This is Voice Maccabees 2 and 10. What nation had not part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? You see, what nation? Okay, had not part in Israel, and take from us. So the Lord said He's going to carry all them down in the valley of YASHAWAN-BAN, and He's going to judge them. Okay, He's going to judge them. All right. So this is Liberty History right here with Iran and US, right? So because I type in the chat, say give me some history with between Iran and America, going back to the 1950s with the black hostages and the oil. So you see here's a chronicle breakdown of US-Iran tensions going back to 1950s. focusing on oil, the coup, and the hostage situation, including the black hostage, which is the black hostage right there. He's speaking about the so-called black man, okay, who are an Israelite. Okay, say the 1950s, oil is the root of the conflict. Okay, and they tell you the Western powers, especially Britain. All right. Then you have 1953, the coup, major turning point. Okay, they installed Shah Mohammad Reza, okay, as ruler. Okay, see why it matters. Shah became a pro-American ruler. The U.S. gained influence plus oil access. Many Iranians saw this as foreign control and betrayal. Okay, this event is the seed of long-term hatred toward America, because Iran felt like they betrayed now. And then, with Shah being in control, he oppressed them. Okay, see ya? So 1953 to 1970s, U.S. backed Shah, right? So the Shah ruled Iran with strong U.S. support, a powerful secret police. Oil money increased, but wealth inequality grew. Many Iranians felt oppressed. You see? And that's what this thing was going back to. The Iranians, okay, felt betrayed and were oppressed. So this is why they could relate to the so-called black people in Babylon being oppressed. Okay? Alright, so you could go ahead and read on, okay? And this when 1979, when the Ayatollah take place, okay, take rule, okay, then they capture, all right, 1979, the hostage crisis. You go ahead and look at this stuff up. Okay, so 66 Americans were taken hostage, 52 were held for over a year. Okay, and this is how the Iranians know how to play Babylon. Okay, they play in politics, and they playing on they using psychological warfare on the people. Okay, all right. Say the black horses detail. All right, this is what you are referring to when I asked him about the black, right? Say Iranian released 13 hostages early. These include women, African Americans. Okay, the reason given, they claim black Americans were oppressed in the U.S. and not part of the same system. You see, this was a political statement, a way to divide U.S. public opinion, push propaganda against America. And what they're doing today, okay, they're attacking, Iran is attacking the dollar. You see, they're attacking the dollar. All right, and now the supreme leader right now, okay, the strait is closed to America and their allies. And anybody now who's going to trade oil, they have to trade oil in the Chinese yuan. Okay? So they have history behind this. All right? They have history. Okay? Okay? So you go ahead now and search your stuff out even more. All right? So yeah, man, hey, Lord, well, this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akim. Or just pushing the truth in love, sincerity, and charity with all humility. Okay, Shalom and the Baba from Yashala.